Today, we're decoding animal dreams. You know that moment, right? You're watching your pet doze off, and suddenly their legs start twitching, or you hear a little whimper. We've all wondered what's going on in there. Well, let's find out.
We've all been there. You see your dog's paws start twitching, or maybe your cat's whiskers start going like crazy while they're fast asleep, and you just can't help but wonder, what in the world is going on in there? What are they seeing? Well, what's so cool is that we don't just have to guess anymore. Science is actually giving us some incredible clues now, a real peek behind the curtain into the secret inner worlds of our animal companions. So, first things first, we gotta tackle the big question, right? Is this even a real thing? Do animals really dream, or are we just kind of projecting our own stuff onto them? Let's dive into the actual science of their sleep. Okay, so the short answer, it's a big, resounding yes. The science is super clear on this. The evidence is just overwhelming that, yeah, a lot of animals dream in ways that are surprisingly similar to us. So how can we be so sure? Well, it all comes down to something called REM sleep. You've probably heard of it. It stands for rapid eye movement sleep. For us humans, that's a stage where our dreams get really vivid and our brains are basically firing on all cylinders. And what's amazing is that scientists have found that our pets, dogs, cats, most mammals really, go through that exact same state. And there's this incredible study from MIT that really nails it down. So, picture this. Scientists recorded the brain activity of rats while they were learning to run a maze. They mapped out the exact brain signals. Then later, when those same rats were deep in REM sleep, guess what? The monitors lit up with the very same patterns. It was undeniable. The rats were literally rerunning the maze in their dreams.
Okay, so we've settled it. They dream. That's huge. But that just opens up the next big question, doesn't it? What are they dreaming about? Let's go on a little tour inside their dream world and see what we can find.
All right, let's start with dogs. It seems like their dreams are pretty much a highlight reel of their day. You know, when you see those little leg twitches or hear a soft little woof in their sleep, that's probably them dreaming about the best parts of being a dog, chasing that tennis ball, running around the park, or going on that awesome walk with you.
And here's a really wild detail. When it comes to doggy dreams, size matters. Seriously, research has found that little dogs, think Chihuahuas or Terriers, they dream a lot more frequently, but their dreams are like short little clips. Meanwhile, the big guys, like a Great Dane, they dream less often, but when they do, their dreams are way longer, more like a feature film.
Okay, so what about cats? You bet they have rich dream lives too. But with cats, it's often all about tapping into those powerful ancient instincts that make a cat, well, a cat.
There was this totally brilliant study that gave us an incredible look at this. So, you know how our brains usually paralyze our bodies when we dream so we don't go running around? Well, scientists figured out how to temporarily turn that off switch off in cats. And the result was, whoa, the sleeping cats actually got up and started moving. They were stalking, pouncing, batting at things that weren't there, literally acting out their hunting dreams right in front of the researchers.
And get this, it's not just our furry friends. It goes way beyond that. Songbirds, for instance, actually practice their songs in their sleep. Their brain patterns while dreaming are identical to when they're awake and rehearsing. And some scientists even think that the simpler sleep patterns we see in reptiles and fish might be a kind of early, primitive form of dreaming.
So, all this evidence leads to a much deeper question, right? It's one thing to know what they're dreaming about, but why do they dream at all? What's the point of these little movies playing in their heads every night?
Well, it turns out that dreaming is just as important for them as it is for us. It helps them lock in memories from the day, process their feelings, and figure out social stuff. But maybe the coolest part is that it's like a virtual reality simulator for them. A cat gets to practice its hunting skills, a dog gets to practice chasing. They're sharpening these super important survival skills all while they're sound asleep.
And this is where it all comes together, bringing all that cool science right back home to that amazing bond we have with our pets.
There was one scientist who just summed it all up perfectly. After all the research, the conclusion was pretty simple and honestly pretty heartwarming. Animals likely dream about the things that matter most to them.
So just think about that for a second. What matters most to your pet? Their favorite spot to nap, that squeaky toy they love, and you, they're human. Which means, yeah, there's a really, really good chance that when they're dreaming about you. So the next time you see your pet twitching and whimpering in their sleep, you'll know what's really going on. They're not just sleeping, they're reliving their day, they're honing their skills, and they're probably dreaming about that great time they had with you. Which leaves us with a really wonderful question to ponder. What do you think your pet is going to dream about tonight?